Greetings and welcome from Jeddah for what promises to be a sensational slice of world-class motorsport. We're off to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Russell, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Sainz, Ocon, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, and Lando Norris, Joe, Tsunoda, Kevin Magnussen, and Bottas, Ricciardo, Vettel, Mick Schumacher and Alex Albon, Stroll and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And a warm welcome, of course, to my co-commentator here today, someone of tremendous experience and insight. It's the man himself, Anthony Davidson. Now, can I get your take on Max Verstappen?
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? One more thing to consider is the strategy element. How far can the drivers push these tyres, and who's going to blink first for fresh rubber? It'll be interesting to see if the leaders have to compromise their plan to cover off the cars behind them.
As we get ready for round two, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Fiber lights are on. It's lights on, away we go. Sergio Perez, great start for him, as well as Charles Leclerc, who jumps to second place already. Down to turn number one, Charles Leclerc goes around the outside. Now to the inside of turn two, Charles Leclerc trying to take the lead away from Sergio Perez. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen is following the third, Russell to fourth, Lewis Hamilton fifth. Charles Leclerc takes the lead from Perez, heading into turn number 5. All the drivers behind trying to take their positions. Russell's in third, Hamilton fourth. Looks like it's Alonso sixth. Lando Norris is back there as well. No fighting ahead. Meanwhile, look at George Russell trying to go around the outside of Max Verstappen. He's going to go around the outside. Can't get there. Heading down in the battle here now. There's Esteban Ocon, not Fernando Alonso. There's Alonso. Meanwhile, look at the battle here. Sainz, terrible start. On board with Pierre Gasly against Lando Norris. Heading up. Through turn 25, heading up to turn 26. Lando Norris and Pierre Gasly still wheel to wheel. Lando Norris trying down the inside. There's no DRS till the third lap. Lando Norris down the inside into turn 27. He's going for Carlos Sainz as well, and he gets by. What a move by Lando Norris. Meanwhile, back at the front, Max Verstappen trying to make his move on Sergio Perez. There's a lot of fighting going on the back. Kevin Magnussen and Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel! What a move! He overtakes 3 into 1 corner, and he moves up to 12th. What a move from Sebastian Vettel, the 4-time champion. And behind, Kevin Magnussen, Daniel Ricciardo going to go wheel to wheel. Meanwhile, back at the front though, looks like Max Verstappen still gaining on Sergio Perez. George Russell's already lost the 1 second he needed, and Daniel Ricciardo gets ahead of Kevin Magnussen. Back in the front though, look at the gap between Verstappen and Perez. Almost wheel to wheel. This is less than 5/10. Gasly gets by Carlos Sainz. Sainz had an awful start. He is now back in 10th. Max Verstappen going to run the inside of his teammate. Can't get there. Max Verstappen coming in third place now. There's George Russell behind. Meanwhile, Carlos Sainz is now getting trouble from Valtteri Bottas. There is definitely an issue with Carlos Sainz. Valtteri Bottas on the back of him. We'll go on board here with Carlos Sainz. DRS is now available. Max Verstappen has gotten by Sergio Perez. Perez, though, he's going to come back on Max Verstappen. Where is he going to go? He's not going to go anywhere. Max Verstappen holds on to second, but he does get by his teammate. Down the main straight, he's now on the hunt to get Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. Back to our battles we go. As you can see, there's multiple battles. Zhou Guanyu and Yuki Tsunoda going wheel to wheel. Tsunoda with a P4 last time in Australia. Daniel Ricciardo goes around the outside. Kevin Magnussen, who spun also in Australia, he had an unfortunate race there. Daniel Ricciardo, meanwhile, did not score points last race, so he's looking for his first points of the season. But as you can see, Tsunoda drops back from Zhou Guanyu, and Zhou Guanyu takes 13th. Max Verstappen now within 1 second as they head up for the first DRS zone. Carlos Sainz gets by Valtteri Bottas for 10th place. The Alpines, meanwhile, have taken 6th and 7th. So heading up back to the front, though, Max Verstappen does have DRS on his championship rival, Charles Leclerc. We go on board with Valtteri Bottas as he has DRS on Carlos Sainz heading down to the final corner. Max Verstappen is close to getting Charles Leclerc. Max Verstappen could have his first chances of retaining the lead. The two Alpines are going to fight. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen, he's not close enough to get Charles Leclerc unless he goes for the dive bomb, but he's going to stay behind down the main straight with DRS. Meanwhile, behind, look at the two Alpines going to wheel. Fernando Alonso, oh, they make contact. Fernando Alonso, he's going to try around the outside and inside of turn number 2 through turn 3, though. Ocon stays ahead, heading down to turn 4. Alonso still behind. They head through all the corners. Ooh, a little bit of action right there. Sorry. Sergio Perez still ahead of, or Max Verstappen's now ahead of Sergio Perez. Okay, now I have the track map. There we go. Okay. Max Verstappen on the back of Charles Leclerc. As they head through the corners, Max Verstappen with DRS heading into turn 23 and 24. Can't get there though. So Max Verstappen through turn 25. He's got DRS on Charles Leclerc. Down the straight they go. Max Verstappen heading into the final corner. Verstappen trying to get ahead of Charles Leclerc. Leclerc holds on to the lead through the final corner. Max Verstappen still gets ahead though. Charles Leclerc though, he's coming back with DRS. What will happen down in the first corner? Leclerc goes down the inside of Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc holds on to the lead. He locks him on the brakes. Max Verstappen goes wide. And as they give back the, he's got to give up the place back to Leclerc as he cut the track and passed him, so he must give up the place. Meanwhile, Sergio Perez under pressure from both the Alpines. Carlos Sainz is fighting for P9 and he gets ahead of Pierre Gasly. What a move from Carlos Sainz as he tries to recover back in this race. Back to the front though, Max Verstappen still chasing down Charles Leclerc. Sergio Perez still being pressured by those two Mercedes behind. The two Alpines still fighting each other. And they get them further back, Mick Schumacher in last place. But heading through the corners now. As they come through the turn 18, 19, 20, and 21, Max Verstappen does have DRS. Heading into turn 22 and 23. Into 24. Max Verstappen has DRS. He's close up to Charles Leclerc. He's going to go around the outside of Charles Leclerc. Heading into the final corner. Where will Max Verstappen go? He goes around the outside. Cannot complete the move. But he does a switchback Amazing switch by Max Verstappen, so he'll get the advantage. Down the main straight they go. Max Verstappen with DRS. Charles Leclerc trying to defend with all his ERS. Max Verstappen, though, will hold on to place. Meanwhile, behind, George Russell, Sergio Perez, they go wheel to wheel. Perez is still wheel to wheel with George Russell. Russell still trying to pass him. Russell down the inside. George Russell tries to get ahead, and he will get ahead of Sergio Perez. George Russell takes P3. Perez falls in 4th. Lewis Hamilton is behind in P5. Latifi drops to the bottom. Looks like Schumacher and Latifi are still fighting back there, but that doesn't matter. Lewis Hamilton, though, he's going to try around the outside. No, he can't. He's not close enough. Perez shuts the door. Perez is now struggling without the DRS. As they head to the corners, Max Verstappen still in DRS range of Charles Leclerc, so the fight will continue. Verstappen. We go on board with Daniel Ricciardo behind Yuki Tsunoda. Oh, Max Verstappen on the back of Charles Leclerc. Max Verstappen still trying to get by. Max Verstappen with DRS. He is coming. He goes down the inside. Switches to the outside. What a dummy move by Max Verstappen. Leclerc has to give out space. But Leclerc holds on to the lead as they head through turn 3. George Russell still holding on to his spot behind Sergio Perez. Max Verstappen, oh, he goes off track. He has to get the place back up. Meanwhile, Sergio Perez, he gets past George Russell, and he's back into 3rd. Russell's complaining on the radio about Sergio Perez probably cutting the track. But no action will be taking place with Sergio Perez. He holds on to the spot. And Perez is now 3rd. Max Verstappen still on the back of Charles Leclerc on lap 7 here. Those tires must be getting old now as we head through these nice S corners. That was 16 and 17. Now heading up through 19 and 20 and 21. Through 21 heading into turn number 22 and 23. Max Verstappen really on the back of Charles Leclerc as they head through turn 24. So here comes Max Verstappen with DRS once again. He's going to try around the outside. Oh, Charles Leclerc heading to the final corner. Charles Leclerc defending to the inside. He forces Verstappen out, but Verstappen holds on to his spot. And here he comes down the main straight. Verstappen with DRS. Verstappen will get ahead of Charles Leclerc, but can Charles Leclerc fight back? No, he can't. Verstappen takes the lead. Perez holds on to 3rd. Great defense for the Mexican. Behind is Russell and Hamilton. They're both British. The Mercedes drivers, the Silver Arrows, still trying to pass the Red Bull, trying to make an upset podium. The Alpines behind. Meanwhile, Valtteri Bottas and Pierre Gasly going to go wheel to wheel. The Finnish and French going wheel to wheel. Bottas around the outside, cannot close the door, can't finish the job as they head through the corners. Bottas gets ahead of Gasly. And that is for the final point spot, so that is huge in the championship fight with both Alpine and AlphaTauri. And probably Haas too. Haas is struggling this race as they did last race, with Schumacher getting P5, Magnussen getting P8, but it could have been P5 and P6, but it wasn't enough. Charles Leclerc with DRS as they head through 22 and 23. Max Verstappen behind, or not behind, ahead. Verstappen trying to defend. Here comes Charles Leclerc with DRS. Leclerc looking to pass Verstappen. Where's he going to go? He's going to have the inside lane as they head into turn 27. Charles Leclerc down the inside. Meanwhile, Russell goes around the outside of Perez. But Perez holds on to the spot. Max Verstappen, though, still defending from Charles Leclerc as they head back to the front. Leclerc using the outside now. Max Verstappen defends. They're side by side. Charles Leclerc looks up. He goes a bit wide, but he holds onto the spot. Max Verstappen trying to swoop around the outside into turn number 3. Max Verstappen, though, will get ahead of Charles Leclerc as they hit the turn 4. No, Leclerc is still fighting back. They're still wheel to wheel as they hit through turn number 4. But no, Charles Leclerc has the lead through turn 6. Carlos Sainz gets by Lando Norris. What an amazing race to start the first 9 laps. Charles Leclerc with the lead, Max Verstappen second, Perez third, George Russell fourth, Hamilton fifth. Max Verstappen pushing that car as hard as he can to try and get past the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. We got a helicopter cam. Max Verstappen has DRS. Can he make a move down into turn 22? No, he can't. Max Verstappen trying to get by. He cannot through 23. Down to 24. Heading up to turn 25. Max Verstappen with DRS once again. Can he get by the Ferrari Charles Leclerc as they head up to the penultimate corner? Into the final corner. Max Verstappen down the inside. Can't get by Charles Leclerc. Meanwhile, the two Alpines can't get by each other. Charles Leclerc defending. Verstappen is behind. He's coming with DRS. He goes around the outside. Can Max Verstappen complete the move around the outside? No, Charles Leclerc descends it down the inside, and he stays ahead of the Red Bull. But Max Verstappen keeping his nose right into the inside of Charles Leclerc. They're still wheel to wheel. The two Alpines are still wheel to wheel. Alonso and Ocon fighting for their spots. Max Verstappen takes the lead back. Fernando Alonso trying to pass his teammate. Alonso gets ahead of Ocon. And Valtteri Bottas and Pierre Gasly going to go wheel to wheel once again. Gasly swoops around the outside turn 4. Bottas trying to keep it there. Zhou Guan Yu gets ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Bottas trying to get ahead. He cannot. Pierre Gasly, he forces him out. Bottas takes P10. Max Verstappen still holding on to the lead. Sergio Perez is now closing the gap between him and Charles Leclerc, almost to the point where he's got DRS, but it won't be enough. Charles Leclerc, here he comes with DRS once again on Max Verstappen. Verstappen runs very wide. I don't know what happened there as they hit through turn 22 and 23. Verstappen still holding on to that lead. Here he comes now, Charles Leclerc with DRS one more time. As they head through the penultimate corner into the final corner, Max keeps his lead. Leclerc still behind. Leclerc trying to get a good exit. He does. Max Verstappen's not in trouble. Here comes Charles Leclerc with DRS down the main straight. Leclerc swoops to the inside. Max forces him low. Into the corner they go. Pit stops are open now. Max Verstappen with a switchback down the inside as they head through turn 3. Max Verstappen around the outside of the Ferrari. He tries to go on the outside. Max Verstappen, he takes back the lead. And the two Alpines still going at it. Ocon gets ahead of Fernando Alonso. But Alonso will not give up, and he won't give up. Alonso takes back the place. But all that does is keep Carlos Sainz closing in on the two Alpines. Verstappen holds on to the lead. There's pit stops going to be made this lap. Sergio Perez has now caught up to Charles Leclerc. Possibly Perez could do an overcut here and pass these two. But who knows what will happen. They're close enough to do an overcut. So we could see some pit stop action going on. We could see some strategy going on in this race. But let's see what happens. Verstappen leads Leclerc through the corners. Sergio Perez is also behind Leclerc. He's also got DRS. The two Mercedes behind, they also have DRS. Max Verstappen comes out of the last corner. He's getting ready to come to the pit lane, as well as Lewis Hamilton. No, George Russell. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton. So in comes Max, in comes Leclerc, in comes Lewis Hamilton. So they're all switching to the hard tire. And so Max comes out ahead, Charles Leclerc comes out behind. And the Mercedes of of Lewis Hamilton is also in. Esteban Ocon is also in. There's more drivers coming out. Here comes the other drivers. Max Verstappen comes out ahead. There's Charles Leclerc. Here comes the Pierre Gasly, Valtteri Bottas. They've been fighting for many laps now. Sebastian Vettel's also in. Who is that? Kevin Magnussen's also in the pit lane. As they all head through, Sergio Perez leads from George Russell. Now the question is, what will Perez do in this lap? As he needs a good in-lap if he wants to take the lead. Albon gets by Gasly. That's huge between him and Bottas. Gasly did jump Bottas. So Pierre Gasly is ahead of Valtteri Bottas, but I bet you 100% that battle is going to be going on till the final lap. Meanwhile, Sergio Perez trying to keep ahead of George Russell as they head through these final corners. Russell with DRS as they head into the final corner. And to complete this lap and probably make their pit stop for this race, Carlos Sainz is there. Charles Leclerc trying to get by Max Verstappen. They're will to will as they head through the final corners. Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen has a DRS, not Charles Leclerc, so Max Verstappen will stay ahead. But Charles Leclerc will definitely have DRS down the main straight. Meanwhile, George Russell, Sergio Perez, Carlos Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Lando Norris comes in for his pit stop. Here comes Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc down the main straight. Can Sergio Perez make any move? Here they come out of the pit lane. Sergio Perez, he's making his way towards the exit. Max Verstappen, excuse me, Sergio Perez gets by both Max and Leclerc. Sergio Perez has taken the lead away from the two championship contenders. Perez did not score any points last time, as he had a disaster of a race with an awful strategy, but now he has taken the lead of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. But Max Verstappen is still in the back of him. Sergio Perez still has to deal with his championship rival, Max Verstappen. Verstappen looking very fast as they come through with DRS through 23, through 22 and 23. Verstappen still on the back of Sergio Perez. As we're here on lap 13 now, Max Verstappen gonna look around the outside of his teammate, Sergio Perez. Charles Leclerc coming to file through. Max Verstappen swoops around the outside, runs a bit wide. Sergio Perez holds on to the lead, but for how long? Perez has got the DRS, but Max Verstappen has a lot of ERS. Here he comes down the main straight. Max Verstappen going to swoop around the outside of his teammate. No, he can't. Sergio Perez locks him on the brakes. Max Verstappen bumps the back of him, but no front wing damage. Max Verstappen swoops around and he passes his teammate. Verstappen takes back the lead here on lap 14. Oh, a yellow flag in the third sector. Look at him, it's Kevin Magnussen. Kevin Magnussen out of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And we see what happened to Kevin Magnussen. His engine just depleted on itself. For the second race in a row, Kevin Magnussen has had an unfortunate event happen to him. Meanwhile though, Charles Leclerc on the outside, he gets by Sergio Perez, heading through the long left-hander, and he gets by. What a move by Charles Leclerc. The track has already been cleared. That car was rolled out pretty easily off the track, but Charles Leclerc gets by Sergio Perez. What a move, we didn't even see it happen, but Sergio Perez has lost a spot too. Charles Leclerc now, look at George Russell on the back of Sergio Perez. Can Russell do anything? Yes, he can. Sergio Perez makes a massive mistake on the last corner, and he loses both the spots to both of them. We have a yellow flag in the third sector. I don't know for who. I think it's Lando Norris. I think it is Lando Norris. Yes, he has a puncture. Right rear puncture. Max Verstappen has spun. Verstappen has spun. What has happened to Max Verstappen, our leader? Oh my God, Lando Norris has a puncture in his right rear.
Is this guy blind? What is wrong with him?
Verstappen very angry on the radio. And now Leclerc and Verstappen are under investigation for that turn 1 incident. But we look at a replay now. Daniel Ricciardo goes around the outside of Sebastian Vettel. But we look at a replay now. Max Verstappen had the inside line, but Charles Leclerc cut him off completely and spun him around. I don't know what the stewards are going to think about that. Think about it. Meanwhile, Carlos Sainz, we have another yellow flag. It's Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly is out of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix as well. Carlos Sainz does get ahead of Fernando Alonso. The two Spaniards going wheel to wheel. But Pierre Gasly is out of this race for the second race in a row. No points will be added to his score in the driver's standings. 10 laps to go now in this race. We see on onboard George Russell of the whole incident. Look at that. Verstappen just has no space from Charles Leclerc. So Max Verstappen still mad about that. We still have the yellow flag in the second sector. Meanwhile, Carlos Sainz still trying to get by Fernando Alonso. Alonso's got the DRS. Carlos Sainz will have to back off, but he can't. He will not. Alonso takes his place and will keep it through the first. No! Alonso makes a mistake! Carlos Sainz tries to get by, but he can't. As we still have the yellow flag, Gasly's car is not clear. Meanwhile, Zhou Guanyu goes on the inside of Yuki Tsunoda. No investigation necessary, saying it was a race incident. So no penalties to Verstappen, no penalties to Charles Leclerc. Down the inside, both Yuki Tsunoda and Zhou Guanyu still fighting, but Tsunoda will get ahead. Unfortunate for Max Verstappen, unfortunate for Pierre Gasly. Meanwhile, the two, I don't know who that was. Ricciardo gets ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Lando Norris, though, got the worst of it with a puncture, and now he has to deal with another 2 stops. Or just one more stop, but it will be an unpleasant time for him. Meanwhile, Carlos Sainz on the back of Fernando Alonso. He'll definitely try and overtake him through the final corner. Let's see what Carlos Sainz will do here. Fernando Alonso trying to defend the two Spanish drivers. One world champion, one race winner. Carlos Sainz can't get ahead through the final corner. Max Verstappen still trying to gain on Lewis Hamilton. But I don't know if Max has damage on his front wing. As Carlos Sainz goes around the outside of turn 1 of Fernando Alonso, who's going to have the better line going through. Alonso stays ahead of Sainz. Carlos Sainz has been struggling in his last 2 races. Well, the last race he had an engine problem. This race he's just struggling with pace. Meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton's trying to chase down Sergio Perez for that final spot on the podium. As George Russell has P2 and Charles Leclerc has P1. Charles Leclerc leads by 1.5 seconds over George Russell, so a good gap between Leclerc and Russell keeps him out of DRS. Verstappen, meanwhile, is still struggling. He is catching, though. He is catching Lewis Hamilton. So Verstappen's not out of the race yet. Meanwhile, what a move! Who was that? Carlos Sainz trying to make a move on Fernando Alonso. Could not make it happen, but now Carlos Sainz has DRS down the main straight. Sainz looking for the outside again. Carlos Sainz trying to get past his fellow Spaniard. He goes around the outside and he gets the spot, but Alonso's going to fight around the outside. Sainz tries to force him wide as possible, but Carlos Sainz will get ahead of Fernando Alonso for P7. Verstappen looking to push the limits of that Red Bull, trying to stay in this fight. But now Charles Leclerc has now increased the gap. As we see Daniel Ricciardo going around the outside of Sebastian Vettel. Lando Norris getting by Nicholas Latifi, but now that's Alexander Albon, who had DRS, but looks like Lando Norris stays ahead of the Williams. Lando was having a great race in the points as well, and now he's dropped out of the points completely. Without any chance of getting points. Lewis Hamilton still trying to chase down Sergio Perez as they head through the final corners. Max Verstappen now at 3.9 second gap. And Verstappen is complaining that there is damage to his car, but he's still trying to push as fast as he can. But they're saying he needs the box soon because of his front wing. So, and he does box. Max Verstappen here to change his front wing as he's got damage on that Red Bull's front wing. So he switches to the soft tire and he is away. So here comes Tsunoda, Zhou, and Bottas. Daniel Ricciardo goes there on the inside of Sebastian Vettel and completes the move. But here comes Zhou Guanyu, Yuki Tsunoda, and Valtteri Bottas. Max Verstappen comes out of the pit lane ahead of them. So now Verstappen's got a lot of ground to make up. In about 6 laps. Tsunoda goes on the outside of Zhou Guanyu. But I mean, Lewis Hamilton still behind Sergio Perez. Perez still trying to make a move on George Russell. He is much closer than he was last lap. He is closer to George Russell than he is to Hamilton. He's right on the back of George Russell. Sergio Perez gets by George Russell. Through the corners now, Sergio Perez, but he cannot complete the move. Maybe down the main straight, he'll try and get him. Sergio Perez is close enough to get him. As we're watching the thing, here comes Sergio Perez on the outside, and he completes the move. Perez gets ahead of the Mercedes and takes P2 away. As now Carlos Sainz is almost in the range of DRS, but meanwhile Tsunoda, Zhou Guanyu, and Valtteri Bottas. Zhou Guanyu down the inside of Yuki Tsunoda, and he gets by Bottas now behind him, trying to do the same. Oh, and Tsunoda has no DRS. He is a sitting duck to Valtteri Bottas. Bottas goes around the outside. Tsunoda tries to send it on Zhou Guanyu, can't. He sends it wide. Bottas, though, takes the advantage, and he gets by Yuki Tsunoda. They're still wheel to wheel. Bottas swoops around the outside. Tsunoda still staying with him. Lando Norris in the pit lane again. Probably for the final time, he changes that to another fresh soft tires. As he only used 2 sets during qualifying. Verstappen looks like he has to do the exact same, while Charles Leclerc has a 3-second gap now over Sergio Perez. Perez just trying to hold on and just take minimum damage in this constructor fight. As George Russell stays in the back of Sergio Perez. As we come down to the last 5 laps of the race. George Russell not close enough, but here comes Lewis Hamilton though. Lewis Hamilton around the outside of his teammate, George Russell. He's not going to make it stick though. Lewis Hamilton down the inside of George Russell through turn 2. Russell tries to stay ahead. Hamilton around the outside. The 2 silver arrows go wheel to wheel. Meanwhile, Carlos Sainz goes on the outside of Esteban Ocon. And he does get by. Sainz trying to fight back on the Alpine. He goes on the outside. And Carlos Sainz takes P5. Huge for Ferrari. Max Verstappen is closing in. He's within 5 seconds now of Fernando Alonso. Tsunoda and Bottas going wheel to wheel. Bottas, though, will stay ahead. Or Tsunoda will. Bottas fights back on the inside. Bottas, he gets ahead. Three seconds is now the gap. The two Mercedes still fighting. Russell and Hamilton still fighting. But Charles Leclerc has a dominant lead over Sergio Perez. 3 seconds, almost the gap now. Perez still trying to take as fast as he is trying to go as fast as he can to catch up to the Ferrari, but it looks like it's over. George Russell still defending from Lewis Hamilton. Russell retired from the last race, so he's trying to make up as many points as he can, but Lewis Hamilton, though, he's going to sit around the outside of George Russell. But can he make the move stick? No, he can't. George Russell's going to send it through turn 3. Russell's going to have the inside of turn number 4. That's on a preferred line. Lewis Hamilton has the preferred line through turn 4. Heading through turn 5, Lewis Hamilton gets ahead. And Hamilton now takes P3. Russell in the 4th. Sainz in the P5, Ocon 6th, Alonso 7th, Verstappen 8th, Zhou Guanyu 9th, Bottas 10th, Tsunoda 11th. Tsunoda tries to find some space to make a move, but can't. Schumacher and Stroll going almost wheel to wheel, but Stroll's not close enough. So Charles Leclerc leads. So now the main fight is between the two Silver Arrows and Ocon Alonso and Tsunoda Bottas. Vettel is closer to get DRS from Ricciardo, but cannot get close enough to even try to overtake. So George Russell looking to overtake his teammate as they head through the final corners. Russell, he's close enough. He tries around the outside, can't get close enough. Down the main straight, maybe Russell is going to have the advantage. He's close enough to take on Lewis Hamilton as they come through. Russell round the outside. And George Russell. Hamilton's going to keep the fight going. Hamilton swoops around the outside. Russell forces him wide. Russell still trying to hold on. But around the outside goes George Russell. On Lewis Hamilton. Russell's trying to get ahead. Can't. Hamilton's going to fight back though. Down the inside goes Hamilton. Swoops around the outside. Hamilton holds on to P4. Or P3, I mean. Zhou Guanyu passes Max Verstappen. I think Verstappen made another pit stop. So Verstappen comes up behind Yuki Tsunoda. So wow, Max Verstappen must have gotten a horrible pit stop as he's now behind 3 cars and loses out to 8th. Now he's 11th out of the points, so he's got to get up to 8th. But he only has 3 laps. Max Verstappen down the inside, he gets by. He runs a bit wide, but he's pushing his car as hard as he can. Oh dear, he is pushing the car as hard as he can. Another warning for Max Verstappen there. The stewards don't mind it. Max Verstappen though around the outside of Valtteri Bottas. What a move by Max Verstappen! He goes on the outside! What a move by the world champion! Charles Leclerc comes up to 2 laps to go. George Russell though, he's looking to make a move on Lewis Hamilton. As the 2 Alpines go wheel to wheel, Russell trying to find a move. He goes down the inside this time of Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton's trying to keep the move going. Russell around the outside, he swoops. Into turn 3, now out of turn 3, heading up to turn 4. Hamilton has the preferred line. Russell needs to keep it going. But he won't. Hamilton will have the preferred line. Meanwhile, the 2 Alpines are going to go side by side. Fernando Alonso has the preferred line. So Alonso swoops around the outside, but Ocon keeps the fight going. Ocon will have the advantage heading up to this corner, and Ocon will get ahead of his teammate. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen on the back of Zhou Guanyu. Verstappen will stay behind here, but he will make a move on Zhou Guanyu. I don't know where though. Around the outside, maybe. No, he can't. He's still in the back of Zhou Guanyu. Can Verstappen make a move? And through the slow and tight section, he gets in the back of Zhou Guanyu again. But Max Verstappen, he does get by Zhou Guanyu. So Verstappen will take P8 and will probably stay there. Charles Leclerc, meanwhile. Well, no, Russell, meanwhile. They're going side by side as the final lap starts for Charles Leclerc. George Russell gets ahead of Lewis Hamilton, but can he hold on to that spot as they head down the main straight? Charles Leclerc has the lead by 4.6 seconds. Lewis Hamilton, he gets by his teammate. Russell will have only one more shot of passing Lewis Hamilton, but he's going to stay on the back of him though. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc has done it all. The two Alpines, they're going to go wheel to wheel. Alonso swoops around the outside through turn 2 and turn 3. Alonso is trying to hold on. Oh, look at that. Ricciardo gets ahead of Sebastian Vettel. But that doesn't matter right now. Charles Leclerc heading through the tight and twisty sections. Alonso gets ahead of Ocon. He'll have one more shot. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc heading to the final corners into turn 22 and 23. Charles Leclerc has had a rough race. He's had a battle with Max Verstappen, even though they made contact, but he's kept it clean. Past that, and now Charles Leclerc, here he comes, out of the last corner. Charles Leclerc will not only take the championship lead, but he will get his first win in the series. Charles Leclerc wins in Saudi Arabia. Sergio Perez will take second. Lewis Hamilton holds on George Russell for third. Russell will get fourth. Carlos Sainz now. He's coming across the line. Sainz, great recovery. P5. Fernando Alonso holds on to Ocon. He takes P6. Esteban Ocon takes P7. Max Verstappen will take P8. All that drama, all that traumatic moments in this race, Max Verstappen will come out in P8. And a disastrous race for him. But for Charles Leclerc, he gets his first win of the season and he takes the championship lead. What a race from Charles Leclerc. What a race from Ferrari.
Impressive performance today. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there. Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
That's got to be the Flying Finn. Wait, how many Flying Fins have we had now? Anyway, I'm talking about Bottas this time. Just great raw speed, and a good job in traffic as well.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.